Congratulations, welcome in your first trimester of your pregnancy. So before you start, just make sure that you have an okay by your doctor to exercise. This will be very gentle, but still make sure that everything is all right and you're good to go. And also, even more important than ever, to listen to your body. So if anything doesn't feel good that I'm suggesting, then just don't do it and simply relax in this pose or child's pose. So let's start in a comfortable seat. You can sit on a pillow or a blanket if you like. Cross your legs and start to breathe long and deep breaths in and out through the nose. And as you breathe, simply observe how you feel right now. And if it's not super great, if you feel nauseous or tired, see if you can relax into that feeling as much as you can. Now bring one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And begin to breathe to both hands. Long, deep, and smooth inhales and long exhales. Notice if you can feel your heartbeat underneath your hands. And feel if you can relax your belly underneath your other hand. Then let your hands come together and create some energy and warmth in your hands. Rub your hands together. And place them on your face. And begin to massage the space around your eyes, your temples, your ears. You can pull a little bit on your ears. And then massage up and down your neck. And bring your hands all the way behind you and massage between the shoulder blades. And bring your hand to the opposite upper arm and squeeze the muscles in your arms. Squeeze the muscles in your forearms, your wrists. And then let the hands come back at your heart. Set your intention for you and your baby. And then slide your hands out in front of you. Doesn't matter how deep you go, just a release in the hips and in the back. So you can be on your hands, you can be on your elbows, or you can use a little prop to rest your arms on. And take a few breaths into the hips and into the sit bones. And then from there, rise up. Bring your fingertips behind you, lift your chest to the sky. And then when you exhale, you switch legs. So cross the other shin in front. And then fold forward again. So you might feel gentle stretch on the other side, the other thigh. Or if you don't feel any stretch at all, that's fine too. So listening here to your breath. Maybe you can even hear the ocean sound of your breath as it moves through the back of your throat. And then rise back up, inhale. And when you exhale, bring your knees to one side. Bring your hands in front of you and come to hands and knees. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. And lift your heart and start to circle the spine. Begin to move your hips to one side, to your heels, to the other side, and forward. So you're going here in your own pace and in your own creative way. So whether it's very tiny, gentle movements or bigger ones, just notice what your body feels like at this moment. What do you feel like doing? Maybe it's even more steadiness, and then you can just stay in one side and breathe, and go to the other side and breathe. You're staying on hands and knees, so really feel free, feel that freedom to move in your own way. This is the time when you are most connected to your body, most women, so really listen and use that. And then if you went into one direction, then go to the other direction now. And make sure that your head is not stiff, your neck is not stiff, you're just flowing, your neck is flowing, your head is flowing with your movement, whether it's gentle or bigger movement. And then we slowly melt to child's pose. So you can take your knees nice and wide if that feels good. In the beginning of your pregnancy, you might still have your knees a little closer together, but as your belly grows, you will need to open the knees a little wider here in this pose. If this feels too intense for the tops of your feet or your thighs, you can place a pillow underneath your sit bones or maybe underneath the tops of your feet. And then just take a couple of deep breaths into your hips, towards your sit bones. Very important, especially in the first trimester, to stay grounded, create grounding energy. And this is how your baby will grow and get nourishment. And then start to very slowly rise up with your spine and come onto your hands and your knees. Bring your knees together and then sit on your heels. Let your hands come on your thighs and then begin to wave your spine forward. Now, if you feel that your belly is already popping out a little bit, you can open your knees wide here. Just starting to flow on your breath, creating a little bit of movement in the spine, fluidity in the spine. So heart leads forward and back, head is the last thing to come up. And then slide your hands out in front of you this time, cross your feet behind you and sit down on your buttock. Bring the soles of your feet together for Baddha Konasana. And then those same waves in your spine. If this doesn't feel good in your low back, if your lower back is a little unstable, then you can just stay upright like I'm doing here. Otherwise, begin to wave your spine forward, heart leads, and then back of the heart comes back up. So waving forward when you inhale, whether it's subtle or bigger movement, and exhale, flowing back up. And continue on your own beautiful breath. And if you feel that at one point you just want to stay and linger, then feel absolutely free. And then from here we're going to just release. You can bring your hands a little bit more forward, or you can keep them on your feet or your ankles. And taking another deep breath into the hips, down into the ground, before we slowly rise up. Bring your knees together, and then shift your sit bones forward and begin to roll down onto your back. You can hold onto your thighs for support. And then you have two options here. If your lower back feels all right in Baddha Konasana, so the same pose that we just did with your feet together, knees wide, and you can do that. Otherwise, cross at your ankles or your shins, and you can even put some support here underneath your thighs or your knees. So you really don't want to feel anything weird in the lower back. For example, always when I take Baddha Konasana on the ground, I do feel some pulling on my lower back. So you want to always avoid that by either using props or by crossing your ankles. And you'll get the same opening in your thighs. Now you can hold on to the opposite elbow and bring your arms overhead for a nice little opening in your chest. If it doesn't feel good, just let your arms relax by your sides. Sometimes when you feel nauseous, opening the chest is a little bit too intense. So keep checking in with your body. And then send your breath down again towards your belly and towards your hips. Really nice, long, deep breaths. In Ayurveda, they say When you're pregnant, you don't eat for two, you breathe for two. So try to do that here, breathing for both you and your baby. And then let's bring the hands again on the heart and the belly as we slowly finish our practice. So you can bring one hand on your heart. It's easiest to have the left hand on your heart, the right hand on your belly. And breathe to both of those hearts. So you don't have just one heart, you have two, or you'll almost have two. Breathing space and softness into your body. And you can stay here for as long as feels good. If you feel this pose is restoring your body, your energy, stay here. Otherwise, you can join me, bring your knees to your chest, nice and wide. And then begin to roll over to one side. Relax your head as you slowly come up. Help the top hand to the ground. And then sit cross-legged to end your practice. Hands in front of your heart. Remember your intention here. And then again, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Being grateful for your body and all that it's doing for you and your baby. Namaste.